I'm Sarah, and at the age of 22, I never thought I would find myself here, returning to college after 3 months of living in my car while managing 2 jobs. The trust fund my father created for me disappeared under my stepmother's management. Her family enjoyed a comfortable life while I barely managed to get by. One morning, as I was working at a coffee shop, my Uncle Walter entered and spotted me. That instant transformed everything. Before I share how my life changed, please comment with your location. If you've ever had to begin anew armed only with determination, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe. I was raised in a nurturing, affectionate environment in a peaceful neighborhood of Boston. My father, David, established a construction supply company that he created from the ground up. He put in a lot of effort, but Sundays were always for us. Pancakes, outings to the park, and film evenings. My mother, Catherine, was the core of our home. She made each person feel valued, helped out at school, and baked chocolate chip cookies adored by the entire neighborhood. Our house wasn't lavish, but it was filled with joy and customs. My bedroom was lavender, featuring a window seat that Dad constructed where I'd spend hours reading. Uncle Walter, the elder sibling of Dad, achieved success in real estate. He didn't have kids, so he indulged me. He took us to Disney World for my 10th birthday. Holidays were divided, Thanksgiving at our place, Christmas at his estate, featuring a tree larger than I am. And throughout all of this, my father was quietly setting aside money for my future. He established a trust fund sufficient for college and graduate school. He often remarked, "Knowledge is the one thing that nobody can ever remove from you, Sammy." All changed when I turned 12. My mom started experiencing persistent headaches. The diagnosis was harsh, a malignant, inoperable brain tumor. She was allotted 6 months. She battled for 8. Those months transformed me from a kid into a caregiver. While other kids were having sleepovers, I was assisting with medications and discovering how to cook. As she left, spring blossoms appeared while our hearts broke. Father and I formed a duo. We mourned silently, maintained our routines, and supported one another. However, life changed once more when Dad encountered Diana, a refined marketing professional who had 2 children, Brandon and Zoe. Initially, she appeared to be kind. Half a year later, they tied the knot, and our home became quite packed. When Dad was around, Diana was friendly and welcoming. When he wasn't around, her smile didn't light up her eyes. She likened me to Zoe, forced me to share my bedroom, and gradually diminished my mother's presence in the home. Pictures faded away, customs were lost, and my voice in the family had no significance anymore. Dad put in extra hours, motivated by Diana's compliments. In the meantime, she involved herself in his affairs and financial matters. I turned invisible. At 16, I sensed I was a visitor in my own house. Then misfortune hit once more. My father died in a vehicle crash. In the hospital, I grasped his injured hand and softly said I loved him. After a few hours, he had disappeared. At 17, I found myself suddenly without parents. The burial seemed off. Diana organized everything in my absence. She delivered an impressive speech, yet it seemed as if she was talking about someone unfamiliar, not my father who adored jazz and whipped up heart-shaped pancakes. Uncle Walter was present, yet remote. He gave me his card and murmured, "Reach out to me. We have to discuss something." A few days later, at the attorney's office, I discovered that Dad had given the business and house to Diana, but I could stay there until I finished college. The education trust fund was secure, but Diana served as the trustee until I reached 25. She immediately tightened her grip. Brandon was given my bedroom. My mother's mementos disappeared. Diana monitored every dollar, insisting on receipts while her children reveled in new cars and art classes. I concentrated on academics, gained admission to Northeastern University, and believed I would finally break free. Yet each tuition fee payment became a struggle. Diana challenged textbooks, declined to address housing, and reduced funding citing poor investments. I held a part-time job, saved discreetly, and primarily stayed on campus. I dreaded returning during the summers. By her third year, Diana declared the business was facing difficulties and cut my living expenses. Eventually, I caught her confessing that she had been diverting funds from my trust to sustain the company. I understood that my inheritance, my father's sacrifice, was being taken away. However, I lacked evidence. Thus, I adjusted. That summer, I gathered my few belongings and departed. Having no other options, I rested in my vehicle. For 3 months, my Honda Civic served as my residence. I bathed at a fitness center, changed parking locations, and toiled 70 hours weekly at a coffee house and retail shop. I maintained my grades, studied in the library, and ensured no one knew I was without a home. The isolation was overwhelming. One morning in the cafe, as I was cleaning the counter, I glanced up and paused. Uncle Walter faced me, aged and grayer, yet unmistakable. He requested a black coffee and remarked, "Sarah? Is that really you?" Hours later, during lunch, I revealed it all: the deceit, the betrayed trust, the time spent in my car. Walter heard, his expression growing somber. At last, he stated, "This concludes today. None of my nieces will reside in her vehicle while that woman squanders your inheritance." That evening, I rested in an actual bed at his estate. The following morning, we encountered his lawyer, Mr. Greenberg, who assured us, "If she utilized your trust for personal gain, we'll uncover the evidence." The inquiry revealed it all. Almost $200,000 misappropriated from my trust, concealed as phony investments. Diana was utilizing it to finance her struggling business and her children's costs. We faced her in Greenberg's office. Initially, she claimed it was for the benefit of the family. However, when I raised my voice, pointing out that it was my father's present for my schooling, her facade shattered. Walter asserted to her, "David established a thriving business. You ruined it and took from his daughter." Confronted with irrefutable proof, Diana consented to a settlement. She was dismissed as trustee, compelled to return the embezzled money with interest, and deprived of the company. Legal accusations ensued, resulting in probation and community service. Her good name was destroyed. After many years, I experienced a sense of freedom. I relocated to a cozy apartment close to campus. Walter was my anchor, providing both financial and emotional support as I completed my education. He recounted tales about my father, bridging the voids created by sorrow and time. The trauma remained. I'd awaken in fear, stockpile food, or maintain a ready emergency bag. Walter softly recommended therapy. I processed the grief, betrayal, and fear with Dr. Morales. Gradually, I started to recover. I completed my degree with distinction. My senior thesis centered on the issue of homelessness in college students, motivated by my own concealed difficulties. Following graduation, I decided against selling the family business. Instead, I maintained ownership, implemented ethical governance, and participated on the board while following a career in social enterprise. Walter and I established our own Sunday custom, meals brimming with laughter and anecdotes. With him, I truly experienced the warmth of family once more. Currently, 5 years later, I am employed by a foundation that assists homeless young people. I reside in a cozy yet lovely apartment, embraced by friends who understand my entire tale. The hurt from my past hasn't disappeared. I still mourn my parents and occasionally dream of those nights in my car, but it no longer shapes who I am. It formed me. It provided me with strength. If you're having a tough time, keep in mind, your journey isn't finished. Assistance may arise from surprising sources. Strength can manifest in forms you haven't noticed yet. Have you ever experienced a moment when everything shifted due to someone recognizing your difficulty? Or have you played that role for another individual? Post your story in the comments. Someone might need to hear it right now. Remember to like, subscribe, and share this tale with anyone who might need a nudge that even in the bleakest moments, light can break through. I appreciate you hearing about my journey. Keep in mind, your narrative is ongoing, and the forthcoming chapter could be more incredible than you ever envisioned.